Tell us more about your character Julia from Harsha El Sabaa and how did you prep for it?
Um, okay, so Julie and I are really similar in a lot of ways, but also really different. We share the same age, so that was really easy for me because that means we're like at the same stage in life. So there was so much stuff that I could relate to. But the main thing was that Julia didn't have a father present in her life, and that's really different to Roya because my father is very much present in my life. I'm very close to him and we share a lot of things in common and I learned so much from him. So the hardest thing was trying to relate to my character. So what I tried to do is envision if Roya wasn't as close to her dad and if I took my dad out of my life, well, what would be the things that would change, my characteristics, the way I'd handle everyday situations, and then I would apply that into my character. But there was a lot of things that were similar to Julia. We're very tough, the both of us. So I tried to add as much Roya into Julia as I could for me to play her as best as I could, really.
All right, so did you have the freedom or the room to add to the character? Like,
Uh, yeah, I would say I did. Karim El-Shenawy, the director, he was great with that. He gave each actor so much space and so much freedom to play it around and discover your character. We just had the script and I would just read over the script over and over to see what like the main structure of Julia is. But I loved adding little accents to her, whether it was I would always wear the same necklace or just wear the colors. The DOP really wanted the colors to be like calm and steady. So I'd always make sure that I put on a colorful bracelet or a colorful necklace just to give Julia that special touch because I really enjoyed doing
all right. So where'd all the time go by Dr. Dog? Tell me
that.
more.
Oh
Tell me
my
the
god.
story
Yes.
behind Tell me the story behind the song.
Okay, I love this story. So whenever I play a character, I always like a way that helps me get into a character in the scene I'm about to do is I make a playlist for every character that I have and I add songs that relate to my character really well. So I'd made a playlist previously for Julia, and Where'd All the Time Go was one of the songs that was on the playlist. And we were filming the scene where I was stood by the window, looking out of the window, which was episode 15, I believe. And so Kareem was like, "This is your scene. Just take it how you want it. Do what you want to do." So I asked him if it was alright if I could wear my headphones in the scene and listen to music, and he was like, "Sure, go for it." So I really tried to find a song that resonated with that scene as much as possible, and I believe that Where'd All the Time Go related perfectly to my situation I was in. So I put on my headphones. I'm like, this is it. This is gonna be my scene. I put on my headphones. It was amazing. It just worked so well. It worked so well with my emotions. The song was perfect. And I told Kareem that once I put on my headphones, put in your earphones too and listen to the song with me. So you're basically in the moment with me. So Kareem did that. And then after we cut, he loved it. He loved it so much. And I was like, great, he loved it. And I was like, Mama, Baba, imagine he uses the song. And they're like, yeah, inshallah, maybe. And I was like, okay. And then we went to Fayoum and I was filming with Aly Kassem, who plays my dad, Sharif. And he totally improvised this part. But towards the end of my monologue scene, he asks to play music. And he randomly just played Where'd All the Time Go, and he played it out as well. And you can see my reaction in the scene as well. I was just shocked because I didn't know that he had watched the scene before. So I was like, no way, we've just picked the same song. But it was amazing. It was just a wholesome moment, and I loved the song, and I loved all the scenes. And you should have seen my reaction to when I watched the episode where I heard the song. I was like screaming. It was crazy. But yeah.
If you were in Julia's place, how would your reaction towards what Sharif and Emma had done differ?
I don't think it differ much. I
Yeah.
really don't think. Yeah, as I said, I like to put as much as Roya into my characters. And because Karim gave me so much freedom to play around with my character, I think like my exact reaction to how it'd be in real life was the exact reaction that Julia gave.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you expect that kind of reaction from the audience to both the show and your character? And how did that make you feel?
Um, it was really scary in the beginning because I've never really done such a like a high-end production before. And I remember when I was in Egypt, people were like, "Oh, your account is gonna blow up." You know, this. Karim was saying like so stressful because as soon as we post the episode, you hear news from everywhere. I'm like, "Oh no, I'm so scared." And but alhamdulillah, all the feedback has been amazing. Like it's just been amazing, and just seeing people's reactions to the scene means so much more to me than the reaction to myself. You know, like when people congratulate Julia instead of congratulate Roya, that means so much more to me because of how much I've put into Julia herself. It's just been great. I didn't know what to expect, but I was just hoping for the best, and alhamdulillah, I've really gotten the best.
All right. Speaking of your time in Egypt, how was your first day on set?
Oh, first day on set. Oh yes, I remember. Um, it was so cool. It was amazing. I was like, my mom came with me. So we were like picked up at the airport, and we were taken to our hotel. And like I remember, we were like dropped off to our hotel, and we were like telling the bellman, we were like, okay, thank you so much. And then we both entered the room, and we just looked at each other and just screamed because I was like, oh my god, I'm finally like living the life I've always wanted. It was crazy. I remember going on to set. There were so many people, and I met Halle once before online. So just seeing him for the first time in real life was just amazing. I was also very intimidated at first because I'm like, oh, everybody knows what they're doing, but I feel like I don't. So I was just very like, oh, let me not mess up. Let me just be cautious. But it was amazing. As soon as I started filming, everybody, the crew, the actors, literally everybody was great. So I felt so at home, and it was so easy.
Tell us more about your experience with both Karim El-Shenawy and Aly Kassem.
Karim. Oh, Karim. I love Karim. He's great. He was just so supportive and so nice, and he his energy his energy radiated off of everyone. He was just so positive the whole time. And after I don't even think he slept once. I don't know if he did. Um, but he was just so amazing throughout, just so supportive and so present, and just so willing to give me the space and freedom to explore Julia as much as possible. He made me feel so comforted and so supportive. After every scene, he'd come up to me and just put his hand on my shoulder and make sure I was doing all right, which is just so comforting. I loved it. And Ali was amazing. He was great. I felt like we had a bond like so fast. We created a bond so fast, which was amazing, especially because he was my scene partner in most of the scenes that I did. So he was so great. He was so supportive, and he was just like always making sure I was all right. I got so comfortable with him to the point that I just called him Baba throughout. Like I never called him Ali. I just called him Baba, even off off screen. And my actual dad, ended up coming to Egypt as well. So I'd call Ali and I'd say Baba, and both of them would turn around, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like I've gotten so close to him. But no, he was just great, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to play Sharif.
If you have a word in your head, you say one, and then I'll think of a word, I'll say two, and then we say 1, 2, 3, and then we say the word. Do you get that?
Okay.
Okay, so just think of it. If you have a word, just say one, or I'll say one.
1,
2,
1, 2, 3, black.
Apple and black, okay? So this game is called Convergence, so we need to find a word that links apple and black. Do you get it? So
Let's go all the way back to how you discovered your passion for acting. How did you start, and how did you work on your talent?
So I believe I started doing theater when I was around 8 years old. I was always a confident child, always growing up. So my mom loved putting me and my sisters into anything. She would just put us into any class, but my parents both did that to make sure like we found a hobby or found a passion that we liked. So she could tell I was very outgoing. So she was like, let me channel that into something useful. So I really enjoyed drama in school. And then she took me out like outside of school. She put me in a theater, where I did script work for maybe like 7 years. 7 years I was just doing script work. And around 4 years ago, I joined an improv theater here in Dubai. And yeah, I've just been doing acting ever since. I've always had such a strong passion for it from the beginning, really from the beginning.
So tell us what's next for Roya.
Oh, I don't know. I guess whatever is thrown my way. I'm not very like, oh no, I won't do this, or yes, I'll only do that. Whatever is good for my career and what is best for me, I think will always come my way. So really, I'm open to anything, and inshallah, just the best.
All right, so no new projects or anything?
A lot of
Here and
theater
there.
stuff coming up. Nothing yet so far. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for what's to come. But yeah.